Hi there. This is my English speaking practice, and I'm talking about my personal development. And I'm working on Unity tutorial for 2D game, and I continue from this. Lock your aspect ratio. And let's look video. So if you don't change the aspect, the map changes like this, but if the set the aspect 16:9, the aspect ratio is kept like this. That's it. Okay. Next. Add wall. This is just add a square and use the rect tool so that we can change the size and shape of rect. Yeah. And add 2D colliders. Selecting wall and other component and sorry, let me see again. Other component and box collider 2D. Just select a box collider 2D, and for this selecting circle collider 2D. Yeah, so the collision detection is happen based on the shape like this and this. Okay, make the remaining walls. Okay, click and copy and paste, right? Duplicate, Control D. And let me read the documents. Select the ball game object you've already created in hierarchy window. Duplicate the ball object by pressing Command D. Rename this duplicate to indicate its position. Right after duplicate an object, press the F2 key or return key Mac to quickly rename the selected duplicate. Then press return again to confirm the new name. And use the move tool to adjust the duplicate's position to the opposite side of the original wall. Don't worry, the placement doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to overlap the edge of the play area. Duplicate the top wall, then use a combination of the rect tool and move tool to create wall left and wall right. To organize the hierarchy window, select all wall objects using Shift Command keys. Right-click one of the selected objects and select Create Empty Parent. This action groups the wall under a single game object, which you can name walls for clarity. Test the scene to ensure all walls are correctly positioned and prevent the player from moving beyond the designated game area and save your scene. Okay. And I have installed the latest version of Unity editor and new project, and I can essential pathway or maybe essential pathway. I can do this tutorial. Okay. And right now, I'm move on complete your 2D puzzle game because we are going to create a 2D puzzle game. So this course would be helpful for me. Overview. In this tutorial, you will fill out the 2D room with furniture that the player can push around, and then fill it with collectibles for the player to search for. At the end, you will even add a simple user interface that tracks the number of collectibles remaining, which will make it feel like a fun puzzle game. What is a collectibles like this? Okay, this is a collectibles, and the player needed to collect the collectibles. But the furniture could be obstacles, so yeah, that's a game concept. Okay. Okay, but the important thing is to set up and know how to use the editor. So create a project. My project. To the scene. importing assets. And the dialog pops up. Welcome to Unity Essentials in Editor Pathway. Okay. My goal is to the. Oh, we can see the video from this. So for the first Unity Essentials, the project tab is here, and click the Unity Essentials scenes. And double click here. So the new scene is opened. Okay. With the scene open, browse through the hierarchy window to identify the game object in the scene, main camera, and a floor. Yeah, in the hierarchy window, double click the floor game object to frame it. In the scene view, then orbit around the floor using Alt left click, Option left click to see that it is completely flat. Completely flat. Okay. Next. Locate and select the 2D button at the top of scene view. 2D button, scene view. Huh? Where it is? Where it is? 2D button. Where it is? Ah, here. Okay. Try to look around the scene like you would in 3D by right click dragging. Notice that unlike in 3D view, the view does not rotate. Instead, it only pans across the scenes. Yeah. Experiment with panning, double click and drag, and zooming, scroll wheel. Okay. In the scene, this is the main way to navigate in 2D mode. Note that the scene view gizmo hub has disappeared from upper right corner of the screen view. Gizmo. I'm not sure about gizmo. You don't need the screen view gizmo in 2D view because orbiting is disabled. You are no longer using the Z-axis perspective because 2D games do not have depth. You are just using XY plane now. X and Y. Okay, got it. In the project window, navigate to Unity Essentials, Sprites, Characters. And browse the available character sprites. Roomba, UFO, and click and drag your desired character sprite into the scene view. I will choose mouse 2D. Okay. Positioning it towards the left side of the room. With sprite selected, ensure its Z position is set to 0 in the transform component in the inspector window to keep it aligned with the other objects in the 2D plane. Let me see the Z axis. Position Z is set to 0. Okay. Briefly switch out of 2D mode and orbit it to see how the sprite sits. So I can Z is 0. Yeah, so the on the time, and I understand this is called gizmo. Yeah. Okay, I understand. And in the hierarchy window, rename sprite player for clarity and future reference. Okay, that's it. Okay. In the hierarchy window, select the player game object. And in the inspector window, select add component and search for rigid body 2D. Select it to add it to your player character. Rigid. I attached. Enter play mode to see the game object fall out of the bottom of the screen. Okay. Okay, I see. Yeah, that's because of gravity, and this type of gravity would make sense in a 2D slider scroller, but it doesn't make sense in a top-down game. Yeah, this is this is a top-down view, so doesn't make sense for now. Exit play mode, and in the rigid body 2D component, adjust the gravity scale property to 0. Okay, where it is gravity scale. Okay, so we can update it, and this will stop gravity from affecting the player. Even though you disabled gravity, you still need the rigid body 2D component so that the player can move around. Enter play mode again to ensure the player character now stays put in the room. Then exit play mode and save your screen. Save your scene. Save. Next. In the project window, navigate to Unity Essentials Scripts, Provided Scripts. And locate the select the player object to show its component in inspector window, then drag the player controller to the script. I see. Open the VS Code. Okay, let me see the code. Using the Unity engine and declare the public class what's called player controller 2D, and it's, I don't know this syntax, but I think this is like a extension, so that this class extends the mono behavior, I think, and it has 5 members, and 2 of them are public, and speed and can move diagonally. Yeah, and speed is 5F. This is hexadecimal. I don't know, but I think this is hexadecimal, and can move diagonally is true. This controls whether the player can move diagonally or not. And there are 3 private variables: rigid body 2D, reference to the rigid body 2D component attached to the player. So in the program code, we can refer to the rigid body 2D component like this, and it has vector 2. It has a movement, and that's whose type is vector 2. So this class stores the direction of player movement, and private bool is moving horizontally. Flag to track if the player is moving horizontally. I don't know why there is a need to track if the player is moving horizontally. And there are 4 methods: start and update and fixed update and rotate player. Let me see the start function. Initialize a rigid 2D component. Oh, I see. So this is just a reference, so need to initialize the rigid 2D component here and prevent the player from rotating. So this rigid body component has a field what's called constraints, and yeah, the constraints is like freeze rotation. So the rotation is prevented. And update function, I think this is called every frame. Yeah, so so I think if the frame per second is 60, this function is called 60 times in a second. Yeah, and get player input from keyword or controller. So input, this is horizontal input and vertically input. So this, I think this class is abstract the input from users, so we cannot we don't need to care about the actual input value. So yeah, so that's because the input from maybe keyboard, maybe controller, or something else. Yeah, and then check if diagonal movement is allowed, and the in as an initial value, it is allowed, and set movement direction based on the input. Okay, so the player could input horizontal input and vertical input at the same time, and this is a movement. Movement is direction of the player movement. And rotate player, optionally rotate the player based on the movement or direction. Rotate player is another function. Okay. Calculate the rotation angle based on the input direction. Arctangent. I don't know this calculation because it's mathematics, kind of mathematics about how to say about diagram or so this is kind of game programming, so I'm not sure, but I make sense. Okay. But it should have constraints. So let me see the okay. As long as I see the rotation doesn't have a relation with this object, so it seems to rotate independently. Okay, next. Movement and rotate player. Transform rotation and fixed update. Oh, this is a new findings. So update and fixed update. There is two type of update, and in this function just update the velocity. So this is scalar and vector. This is a scalar and this is a vector, and yeah, that's the linear velocity is calculated like this. Apply movement to the player in fixed upright for physics consistency. Yeah, I see. Okay. Go back to the Unity and select the player game object to show its components in the inspector window, and drag the player controller to the script directory into the inspector window to add it as a player component to game object. Pong. Okay. So the player game object has four properties or features or something like that, and yeah, right now it has a 2D script, so this game object is controlled by the player controller to this script, I think. And with the player controller to the script added, you can now configure its properties, including its speed and whether or not you want a player to be able to move diagonally. Speed and can move diagonal is these properties can be edited in this UI. So this is probably because these are public variables, so we can access via Unity editor. Makes sense. And the speed is just 5. I see. So this is not hexadecimal. Just this F means just float type, I think. So in this this means the speed is 5. The unit is I don't know the unit, but the speed is just 5. Okay, I will change 6 and so the script is like this, but I can overwrite the properties here. Okay. Test the player controls in play mode. Let me okay, nice. Your character should now move with either the arrow keys and let me try to move diagonally. Oh, is it possible? It's possible. If you edit values in the inspector window, you might have to click within the game view window to regain control of the player. And find the aspect ratio drop down where it is. Aspect where it is. Drop down. Where? Oh, here. Okay, I understand. And I can keep it running. I don't know. Exit play mode. And in the hierarchy window, right click and select 2D object sprite square. And wall bottom. And make sure the object position is set to 0. Okay. And I will use the rect tool, set to bottom, and that's it. And select the wall and add a component box collider 2D and add it to the wall. Select your player character in the hierarchy window. Depending on the shape of your character, add either a box collider or circle collider to the component. Circle. But this is too big. Yeah, too big, I think so. I see. Let me change the offset. I see. Okay. I understand. I understand the circle collider and enter play mode to test. So the collision detection will be meet this circle. Okay. And select the wall game object you've already created and duplicate. Ctrl D. And the wall top. And move to here. And DD left, right. This is right. This is left. That's it. And create empty parent and wall. Let's move. Okay, that's it. Done. Next, complete your 2D puzzle game. Furniture. And select furniture sprites you want to add to your room and drag them into scene view. Armchair and ottoman and plant and sofa and table, coffee, dark. Yeah. Use the move tool, rotate tool to position. I see. Rotate tool. What? So where? Oh, I see. No, move to. Move to. Why I cannot move? I see. So need to move align its axis. So like this and this and this. Okay, I understand. So far. And ottoman and plant. Sofa, ottoman. What is it? Oh, floor. That's it. Do not put one piece of furniture on top of another. When you add a rigid body and collider components to them later, they will explode out of each other because they'd be intersecting physical objects. Makes sense. And in the project window, sprites lags folder, and drag one of drag sprites prehubs into your scene. What is a prehub? Prehub. I will pick this one. And notice that it goes on top of your furniture. In the hierarchy window, use the shift key to select all the furniture objects. Then, in the sprite renderer component, set the furniture's order in layer to 10. Okay. Select the all furniture game objects, and then in the sprite renderer, Set the furniture's order in layer 10. Wow. Now select any rugs sprite windows order 5. When you space out the layer this way, rather than just using layer 1 to 3, it leaves room for additional elements you might want to introduce between the layer later. Makes sense. Use the rect tool to stretch the rug's corners to the position you want. What is a rect? This is rect. So I will set like this. Notice that the rug's pattern repeats as it stretches rather than being distorted. These rugs are set up as 9 sliced sprites, which involves stripping the window into 9 portions so that when you realize this sprite, it keeps the sprite in proportion. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe. In the hierarchy window, select all furniture windows, not including the rugs, and select one inspect your window and select the component. Oh. All of the furniture are selected and add the component rigid to the rigid body to the disable gravity. Select one of your circular furniture sprites and rotate it. If you add any circular furniture like lamps or plant, you will need to replace the box collider component with this component that more accurately represents its shape. Okay, I see. So I have to remove this and circle and rigid body. I took a mistake. Rigid body is needed. Rigid body is needed, and circle collider added, and remaining 4 furniture I should attach the box collider. Yeah, box collider. Okay, That's it. Box collide. So I will adjust the layer of the player, right? I missed it. Where is the layer? Sprite renderer. The layer is 6, right? And it's like there is no friction. Yeah, there is no friction. Interesting. Okay, next. In the hierarchy window, select all the pushable furniture objects again. Remember, don't select the rugs. In the furniture's rigid 2D component, set the linear damping to a value between 5 and 10. Enter play mode to test a new linear damping. The furniture should no longer slide across the floor, but it will still rotate endlessly like a spinning tool. Linear damping. I'm not sure. Linear damping. Set to 5. And save it. Let me see how it changes. So move. They move some distance and then start to spin. Start to spin there, right? And regarding spins, there is also like no friction. Okay, I understand. And exit play mode, and with the furniture still selected, set the angular damping to properly. Angular damping. Set to 5. The furniture should no longer spin. Okay. So the damping means like frictions. Yeah, I don't know the meaning of the English word, but I feel like that. And next, in the scene view, adjust the mass of heavier furniture items to make them harder to move. In the scene view, so select the hardest game object and heavy couch. Where it is heavy couch. mass is mass means weight. Let me test it. So the Ottoman moves easily, but I see. Maybe yes. Yeah, it's the mass means weight. Go to next. And in the project window, navigate to collectibles. Sprites collectibles, and star. What is it? Perhaps, right? Drag your desired sprite prehab into your scene in front of the player. Enter play mode and get if you are interested, go to Sprite's provided scripts folder, select the Collectives 2D script, and scan through the code in Inspector window. Note the key difference between this script and the collective script you wrote. Instead of rotating the collective along the y-axis, it rotates it along the z-axis to align with the 2D world's plane. Instead of the default on trigger enter and collider code, it uses on trigger enter and collider code. So that means this already have a script, right? I don't know. Oh, already attached. Okay, so let me see the script. Using system corrections. This is for data structure and collective 2D. This is also extends. This also extends mono behavior, and the public members is like this: rotation speed and core game object, what's called on correct effect, and update function and on trigger enter 2D once per frame. Yeah, so this is once per frame. Oh yeah, once per frame. Okay. Transform rotate. On trigger enter 2D. So this takes collider 2D as the argument, and check if the other object has a player controller 2D component. So get component. I see. I see. Destroy the collectives. Game object. So game object. What is it? Oh, what is it? What is it? So I think this is a reserved variable, reserved name variable, and maybe this indicates the game object itself, I think. So in this case, this game object indicates the collective to the and instantiate the particle effect on collect effect. On collect effect is given through the editor UI. What? Let me see the this object explode. So this is effect, I think. So there is a lot of properties to configure. So this is a game object for effect and instantiate. Yeah, I learned it yesterday. This is used for instantiate something, and this is the prehab, like a template and remaining arguments is given to the prehab, and instantiate something. And what is a transform? So I think comparing with web development, there is a lot of reserved name variable like transform or game object. I think these variables are already defined in Unity game engine, so the developer should know the meaning of these variables. But I can almost guess the meaning of these variables. For example, I think this means the game object itself. This script is attached to something, so this game object indicates the something game object. And transform is transform property, I think. So this game object have a transform property, and transform property is like an object, and it has a method that's called a rotate. And in this case, rotating like this. So the in this case this star is rotating every frame, and when this function is called, the star is destroyed and the effect is instantiated based on the transform position and the rotation. I understand. I think I understand. So let me see the steps. Select the collective's objective already added to scene. Duplicate collectives and okay, I should not duplicate prehab. I think select this. I cannot move the oh no. Delete. Holding Ctrl D and moving duplicate. I cannot do it. Command D, and to ensure even spacing between collectives, hold Command while moving duplicate. I see. So I think so I should move select all pushable furniture object in the hierarchy window. Create empty pushable is from here to here. And empty object, empty parent, pushable. Since your rugs are distinct from the pushable furniture, create a new parent game object from them named something like static creation rugs. Select all your collectives and create an empty parent game object named collectives. Collectibles. And in the project window, navigate to Unity Essentials Playhouse UI and drag the remaining collectives UI Playhouse into hierarchy. And test your game to see how the UI tracks and updates the number of collectives, and you collect them accordingly. Fun and engagement to the gameplay experience. If you are interested, expand the remaining collectives UI game object in the hierarchy window to see how it's set up. I'm interested. Oh, just TMP. By selecting some of the objects, you may be able to figure out how to change the color, font, or positions of the UI element. Remember, you can always undo any unwanted changes. Control D. You can preview any changes and back to the UI in the game you remembered. Screen. Oops. Images. It attached the scripts like this. Okay, congratulations on completing your 2D scene. You create a fun, interactive game-like experience. Here are some of the things you learned along the way. Set the order in layer property to control how objects appear in 2D scene. Explain how 9 slice spreads work. Adjust rigid body component properties, including mass and drag, to control how objects respond to physical forces. Explain why scripts for 2D interaction use 2D functions. Okay, I see. The animated pet. More things to try. Complete the checkpoint. Okay. today that's it. Time to finish, but I made a great progress. I completely understand how to use Unity. Okay.